Now we are recording. We're about to go live, my people. What's up? What's up? What's good? What's good? I hope y'all feeling good. I hope y'all feeling great. Your boy Reggie is here after a long weekend. I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna let y'all know I'm a little tired. I've been on a impromptu
We
trip to
are a
Jackson,
little tired.
Mississippi. We are tired. I had an impromptu trip to Jackson, Mississippi. Norwood had an
Except
impromptu double homecoming. Um,
2 for 1. Buy one, get one.
so we having a we gonna be a little mellow for most of this, but when we just
But
know,
not Carmelo.
when we are now alive, as I see posting the tweet, we are live, my brother. Welcome, man. How you feeling today, man? After that double homecoming trip this weekend.
My body is weary. My soul is filled. Happy. I see you. They don't know what they walking into today, boy.
Y'all
But
about
we
to,
told y'all and
we
we
told
warned y'all.
We told
And
you.
y'all didn't want to believe us.
I said, don't let us win more than 2 games. We in the pregame though. We in the pregame. But I told y'all.
Oh,
I said, don't let us win more than 2 games. I said it. I know I said it because it was taped, and y'all made fun of me for saying it, and told me I was tripping, which is okay.
what else did they tell you?
Said I was foolish.
What else did they tell you?
They said that the Falcons weren't gonna win, and that they told me that I was smoking a bag of male genitalia if I think that the Falcons were gonna finish at least second in the division, is what they told me. I want to make sure y'all look in my eyes. I'm gonna take these off for a second because I gotta make sure. This is what y'all told me. Y'all told me that. And I told y'all, all I said was okay. I don't never start the trash talk. If you know me, you know me because you a Florida fan. We'll get there too. You know me. I don't start the trash talk. I don't. I don't start the trash talk, but I'm gonna show enough end it every time. I've lost friends. Don't care. That means if I lost friends over trash talk, if you could trash talk me, and then when I trash talk you back, you ain't my friend, and you weren't my friend to begin with. So I don't really care about them either.
Facts.
I've lost friends. I've lost people. I'm not even friends. I still have friends, but they refuse to watch games with me. That's fine. When my teams are down bad, y'all be in my ear all the time. And I be sitting there humbly. I be like, you know what? You right. I talk trash with you until you get to that point where I can't talk trash no more. Then I'm like, you know what? You right. You got it. You got it. Unless you the Patriots. Then I piss on y'all grave. But anybody else.
And on y'all downfall. Jesus.
Anybody else. You know, I'm very humble about my team. But I always say, I said, what's the one thing I tell you? Don't let us win. Don't let it, because I don't forget. I do not forget. And sometimes if it's real bad, I'll write it down. But anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. For those that are tuning in to the live, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to ATL edition of episode 76 of the Splash Cast. I don't even know what we're going to call it. We might as well call this whole season of the Falcons. We told y'all so. I am your co-host, your winning co-host, Reggie.
I am your winning co-host, Norwood. And I mean, at this point, we're still in the pregame, but I'm thinking maybe like numero uno.
Numero uno?
Yes, because we are number 1.
Ooh,
I don't want people to forget that. I don't want y'all to misconstrue that. I don't want y'all to think it's anything less than what it is. But for sure, if you go look on your Google search and type in NFC South, you will find the team that nobody believed in at number 1.
2 and 15.
And in the words of Khaled, God did.
God did.
We told y'all. We sat here and told y'all. Y'all told us we were fools. That's fine. But let's get to some uplifting news first.
We back. We told y'all we was back. We said the Falcons were back, and guess who else is back? And he rock with Atlanta. One of the few people from Louisiana that rock with Atlanta. My man, I ain't gonna say my man, but my funny guy to follow.
Oh, that's my guy. I like him. I don't care if y'all don't like him. That's fine. I like him.
BOOSIE BADAZZ. That's him. Wipe him down. And I was about to be disrespectful, but I got families that are Kappas, so I ain't gonna say nothing. But I was about to say your favorite Kappa's favorite Kappa.
I will say that. Your favorite Kappa's favorite Kappa. I'm fine with it. Yeah, I said it. Right. Probably had that Kappa shirt on today or yesterday. But I'm happy to see him back. I know that him and the Atlanta Hawks had a kind of tumultuous situation there for a little bit. Him being a longtime supporter of this team is great. Specifically, when we first started the podcast, he was the winning post for a very long time. So, you know, I'm happy to see T Hatch back with the Hawks. And happy to see him cleared and have his seasons back.
Yeah, man, he's got I mean, that's a way for him to make money. So it is good that he is back, but he just knocked himself out. I know that hurt. Good to see Boosie back. Whether you love him or hate him, you know that he's entertaining. So you got it. It's good to have him back, man. I want to talk about this real quick.
This is disappointing.
For the first time since 1950, such an occurrence has happened. 3 years, and that was 3 years after Jackie Robinson broke the MLB color barrier. After it took 3 years to get somebody else, American-born black person to play. The World Series is to begin with no U.S.-born black players on the team rosters. None. Zero. Zilch. And for all of our supporters, all of our listeners, first time, last time, and consistent, we always say, what do you always end the episode with, Norwood?
More black baseball.
More black baseball.
And I know a lot of times y'all think we just say stuff because we are crazy lunatics. Mm-hmm. But no, we keep our eye on this. We do see what's going on in the world of sports, specifically baseball. Me and Reggie, big baseball supporter, specifically the Atlanta Braves. But it's not just about the Braves. It's the support. It's the influence. It's the opportunity. And for MLB to have this happen is extremely unfortunate. I think that it needs to be noticed. I think it needs to be brought to the forefront. And not only, I mean, it's bad. And I don't want to pile on, but it's like anything else. It can be fixed. It should be fixed because we have the athletes.
We have the athletes to play in just about any sport on earth. It's going to
that's the Atlanta Braves, Mike Harris.
It's going to take some intentionality from Major League Baseball. You are going to have to invest if you want more black baseball. If you want more black baseball, it will take you will have to be intentional, and you will have to invest in you will have to try to get notoriety out to the black community. Because I know one thing, I know a lot of people my father's age, they used to love baseball, my dad included. But when I know a lot of people in Atlanta, they stopped watching baseball when they got rid of all the black players. For a long time, Atlanta didn't have any black players. After Otis Nixon, Ron Gant,
Terry Pendleton,
Fred McGriff,
Ron Gant,
Terry Pendleton, David Justice. Right, we just rattled off 6 players. Those were all starters, and they won the World Series. Deion, how can you forget about Prime? Deion, you had all of those black
Andrew
baseball
Jones.
players. You're not American-born. But you know what I mean.
You're right.
But I'm saying,
I was about to, I can't throw Rafael for a call of none of them people in there. You're right.
And we don't want to short, and I'm glad you brought that up too. I don't want people to think that we're shortchanging non-American-born black and Spanish, black and brown.
Not at all.
But
not at all.
The same way that the NBA invests in basketball in the inner city and invest in basketball in Africa. The same way the NFL goes to, in college football, goes to all of these rural towns and has all of these give backs and all of that stuff. That's because the black players influenced that. Well, the only way that you are going to get your notoriety to black players is to have black players. You can't relegate them to the AAA, AA, and move some players up and leave other ones down there. It can't be political.
And it's a lot of the barriers to entry of baseball. Baseball is a very expensive sport to play.
Good point.
You got to play travel baseball. If you're good, you have to play travel baseball to get to that next level, to get the visibility. Football, you play on your team. You play for a team in the city.
Yeah, for the most part. Football, yeah.
Basketball is kind of like baseball, especially now with the influence of AAU. But you have Nike who's sponsoring these teams, or Adidas who's sponsoring these teams. There has to be, because they know that they're going to see the return on their investment. Hey, if I sign these teams, I'm going to be able to start a relationship with this kid very early, have him in my stuff, wearing my brand. So when it's time for him to get to the NBA, hey, you've been with Nike for so long, you just reach out to your rep, and I'm sure it's not a very difficult call to make. Well, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take a concerted effort from the MLB, number one, but it's also going to take a concerted effort from Nike, Adidas, et cetera, on the baseball investment, just like you do with basketball.
Exactly. You're definitely going to have to invest. And what is one thing that baseball has been trying to do? They have been trying to make it more interesting. They have tried to make it to get more people involved. They're trying to get more notoriety and have. That's why you see all these baseball rules of speeding up the game and doing all of this stuff, allowing bat flips. Well, I'm gonna let you know right now, ain't no more entertaining people on earth than black people. Can't nobody else have more flair on earth than black people.
Do what we do.
And I don't want to just say just blacks, but that's what we're talking about right now. So if you want, that's how the NBA was able to increase the salary cap every year. That's how you're able to get those monstrous contracts, even though you have a salary cap. That's how you're able to. The NFL is able to have 7 or 8 TV deals every 4 years. Now you on Amazon Prime. You on. They were on Nickelodeon for the Super Bowl. They have NBC. The NFL has and then they have their own package because they reach out to a broader audience. Baseball's audience is too narrow.
But if you really look at it, now that we've kind of had this conversation, which is the reason I wanted to have this conversation, is baseball doesn't really deal with hip hop at all on any level,
other than the walk-up songs.
If you look at the Super Bowl, you have people perform: Snoop, Eminem, Dr. Dre, etc., Jay-Z, all of that. Then you look at basketball. You can literally go to any game and just look at the sideline. We just talked about, this is not the most famous person in the world, but Boosie. Mm-hmm. You go to a baseball game, tell me you've seen a hip hop artist there.
None. You'll never see any. None.
And I mean that's a big part of it.
Case in point, we are big Braves fans, big Braves supporters. The Braves Stadium for years was in the black part of town, southwest Atlanta, south side of Atlanta, ain't really west, south side of Atlanta, over there by Turner Field. Over there by what's now present day Georgia State, Atlanta Metro. They then moved to Cobb County. Atlanta is
strategically
one of, if not the blackest city in the country. And when you move your team, city team, to Cobb County and say that's where most of our fan demographic is, you've now alienated but I ain't gonna say the majority because it's still, white, but you've alienated an entire race. You got to go to Cobb County, and if you're from Georgia, Georgia and Cobb County blacks in Cobb County just started being comfortable there. Just started.
Not comfortable is getting there. I still think that's a work in progress.
Okay, comfortability is a work in progress. So the undertones that you have in baseball is we don't necessarily cater. It's not a black sport. We don't cater to the black people, and we don't involve the black people. And this is showing it. They saying since 1953. You know what else was happening in 1953? The fight for civil rights. They just got past discrimination, and we still are doing stuff from back here.
Yeah, this is disappointing. It's highly disappointing, and it's baseball kind of is doing it to themselves. It's losing popularity, and people are just not as interested. But you won't involve black people. You won't involve the hip hop culture, which is the most influential music genre in the world right now. That to me, I would say it's mind-boggling, but it's not.
It's not for what we've seen.
It's just you being you, but you being you is getting your ass whooped by baseball and basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So hopefully there will be more black baseball. We will continue to champion more black baseball. Any baseball players that want to come on the podcast, I don't know of any other podcast, and everybody that listens to multiple, you let me know of any other podcast that talks about more black baseball than we do in terms of promoting baseball. Now, I will say other ones do talk about it, but not as much as we do. Especially when we don't have the connections yet as the other major markets do. Moving on. Your man, I don't know if I've seen, is he the most hyped NBA prospect? And when I say hyped NBA prospect, it's Victor Wembanyama from France. He is the overwhelming favorite to be the number one pick and probably the most hyped prospect in our lifetime or NBA history.
I feel tricky about that part. I think it's still LeBron.
Think so?
We knew, because you knew what LeBron was in 8th grade. I had a LeBron throwback high school jersey. I feel like last year this time I didn't know who Victor was.
No, he did kind of like burst on the scene, like
exactly.
He's what 17, so yeah. He didn't get as early a start, but also you knew who LeBron was in 8th grade because LeBron was also in America, right? And also LeBron played only basketball. Most people in Europe, they play other stuff. Giannis played soccer. Victor played soccer, and he was a goalie. Tim Duncan, who was in St. Paul, was a swimmer. All of that stuff. So LeBron's first love and only love was basketball. Most European-born players
play football too.
Oh, football player. Most European-born players are soccer. So, but the thing is, now that you bring that up, I don't understand how there wasn't more hype early because he's 7'4", and it ain't like he grew 14 inches in a year. No, he been tall his whole life.
Yeah, and you would assume, seeing his skill level, that it's not like he just picked this up. It's not like he's just tall and that's it. He can shoot. Excuse me. He can dribble. He can do a little bit. He can do a little bit of everything.
Bless you.
So somebody just missed the boat. Marketing department. I don't know where you were or what you were thinking, but you should have had this guy on TV.
Well, the NBA got him now. The NBA has announced that they will stream every game of Victor Wembanyama and his team, the Metropolitan 92s, in 2022-2023 season on the NBA app. And the first one just got streamed yesterday. And the thing is, he's kind of lived up to the hype so far, but also his caliber of competition isn't as high as he would be playing in the NBA. But I don't know how. This is why I think he's the most. I've never seen them say we're going to play all his games. We're going to streaming. Of course, wasn't out with LeBron, but I ain't never
but
heard.
You remember
they
did televise LeBron's high school games.
Not all of them. They only televised him when he played Carmelo. It was always like a top 5 matchup. They about to stream his games whether they play somebody good or bad. It's all of them.
I don't know. I see the opportunity. They think that he's going to be a major money mover for whoever he goes to.
He is.
They say he's supposed to influence somewhere between. He's going to increase the value of their team somewhere between $500 million to $1 billion. So I get that, but just let the man get there first. Jeez, let him just play basketball and be regular like everybody else. Like, you don't have to squeeze every red dime out of every red cent out of everything. Just let him play basketball. Because what you do run the risk of doing is ruining this man before he gets there.
Yeah, it's a tremendous amount of pressure. But he seems to live up. He seems to embrace the pressure, though. Like when he talked about old boy that he played Scoot, and he said he would be the number 1 prospect if I wasn't born. I was like, boy, that is an arrogant statement right there. Just not the fact that he said it.
That's a factual.
But it's just the way that he said it. It wasn't what he said. It was the way that he said it. And I was like, dog, that is. But I mean, you're 7'4", you shooting fadeaway threes. Same thing
I say about Rudy Gobert.
Really?
You just don't make that many 8 feet tall people.
Well, apparently they're doing France because they got another dude that is like 16 years old that is like 7'3".
That was a hell of a segue.
They had another dude that is like 7'3". I don't know his name. We're gonna talk about him on the next pregame. But he's like 16 years old and he's 7'3" and doing everything that Victor Wembanyama is doing. And I'm like, French people are short.
Clearly not anymore.
Nope, not gonna say no jokes on that. And then finally, there's your boy. I call him sometimes the big contradiction. But there is your man LeBron, who is no longer a Cowboys fan. And I want y'all to hear what he says. It's a minute explanation of what he says. We're going to play it real quick.
This year, but I ain't heard you talk shit about the Cowboys in a long, maybe since like 1997 or something. You still a Cowboys fan?
Nah, man. I had to chill out. I had to chill out on the Cowboys, man. Like, man, there's just a lot of things that was going on during the, when guys were kneeling and guys were having, freedom of speech and wanted to do it in a very peaceful, manner. And, a lot of people in they front office and a lot of people that, ran the organization was like, if you do that around here, then you would never play, for this franchise again. And, I just didn't think that was appropriate. So
makes total sense.
I like a lot of the players on the team still. I love CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, our boy Zeke, Buckeye, I still mess with him. I love Micah Parsons. He's a dog. Oh,
he's
my
a dog.
God. Micah Parsons is a dog, Trayvon Diggs, but I had to turn it in, even though I still got a lot.
So now you all in on the Browns.
I'm all in on the Browns, and we want one shining moment.
So
go ahead.
That's cool. I'm glad if that's how he truly feels. I'm glad he took that stance. But I've seen you wear Cowboys stuff since then. But I won't even go on there because for him to say that, even though the Cowboys are 6-2, 7-1, whatever they are, that's a hell of a stance. And he has been all in on Cleveland, which is why I thought he was going to stay. He's been all in on Cleveland since then. As the Browns, though, I wonder if you feel like you're second fiddle now.
Yeah, he didn't really like you. The more interesting thing to me is he alluded to it, but he didn't say who he's really talking about. Jerry Jones. That is clearly and evidently Jerry Jones. I want to know how Jerry feels about this. I would really like to know what Jerry thinks.
Yeah, and I'm gonna bring up a dynamic that we didn't talk about in the production, but I know you've thought about it. You said you want to know what Jerry thinks about this. Jerry Jones, for all intents and purposes, is the ringleader of the owners. He is the guy that which way he votes is how he tries to sway everybody. He's very out and open. LeBron has been very out and open about wanting to own the franchise. You're not going to own a franchise unless you get the majority of the owners to vote you in and agree on the sale, right? So if they start a franchise in wherever, same way he wants to do basketball, you have to get the voting of the ownership. Unless you waiting on Jerry Jones to die, if he hears this, he ain't never going to vote you in. That's what.
Well,
yeah, that's what he waiting on.
There are a few different things to me that are at play. Number one, while Jerry does have a ton of power within the NFL, you also have to look at this from strictly a financial point of view. LeBron wants to be an owner. He is the most influential athlete in the not in the world, in the country.
Yeah, no, not in the
one
world.
of the top three in the world.
Ronaldo in the world.
Yeah. So yeah, but top 3 in the world. Whether you like him or not, it's good for business. And I think that as much as Jerry may not necessarily like him, it's clearly other owners he doesn't like at all. So I would assume the shrewd businessman that Jerry Jones is, he understands that just because I don't necessarily like what you said, and clearly you don't like me or my opinions, if the money is there to be made, I think Jerry may be okay with it. Also, I think I think that football. You said what?
That is fair. That is Jerry about that dollar.
Yeah, and also I think basketball, the basketball organization is first and foremost for LeBron. Think so? Getting a football team would be great, but it will be later, and it's going to be much more difficult. Basketball has 2 spots that they're just kind of holding on to, which I think they're reserving one of them for LeBron for a reason.
Las Vegas and Seattle.
Yep, I think that there is I don't think that there's a handshake deal, but I think there's an understanding that he will get one of those 2 teams. I think it's in the NBA's best interest to have him be a part of ownership for one of those 2 teams. That's fair. So yeah, I think that goes hand in hand. So if he gets the football, sure, it'll be great. And I think that eventually they'll be like, yeah, let's just make the money. But right now, he's made it very clear he has the money that once he's done with basketball, he can basically go out and get him one.
You know what else is surprising about this? You did say that it made it very clear that that's what he wants. LeBron is extremely calculated. Extremely calculated. So, and I have gone to the fact that I understand in LeBron, and I think LeBron knows that everything he does, move, says, acts, winks, whatever, is a play, right? And not a play on him, just saying it can sway anything because he's in the public eye so much. Absolutely. So I was surprised that this came out because of his aspirations to be ownership. Now, he's also very, very outspoken politically.
Too big to fail.
Very outspoken politically. So I'm not surprised on that front, and I'm actually kind of happy that he said it. So
I want to know when Jerry saw it or what Jerry said when he saw this clip, because there's no way that the most influential athlete in America says something about you and it don't hit your desk very early in the morning. And by desk, I mean somebody copied and pasted that tweet, sent it directly to him. LeBron, don't fuck with you.
Well, I think I wonder. I would like to see them in the same room.
I would like to see them in the same room because as LeBron was a fan for so long, I would assume that he has Jerry Jones' contact information, which makes that even more weird.
He probably does. He definitely does. But
he was going to the games. He was on the field. And you think Jerry's...
Yeah.
Without a doubt, he has Jerry Jones' contact information.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how the fallout is. If LeBron is... We'll know something up if LeBron is seen at a Cowboys game. But, and you just lost a lot of fans.
He can't be seen at a Cowboys game now.
The same fans that are LeBron fans and Laker fans are Cowboys fans if you're not from that place. So, we'll see the fallout of it. But, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a shot.
It was. Ladies and gentlemen.
Quickscope Davis, baby.
We have come to the end of the ATL edition pregame. 30 minutes, I know, but it was some things that had to be said. We had to talk about black baseball. We had to talk about LeBron and the Cowboys. We had to talk about NBA drinking the Kool-Aid or serving the Kool-Aid of Victor Wembanyama.
Oh, they serving it.
And then Boosie out here. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and shine up these glasses, get my grill ready, and I'm going to set this on fire because we are going to the ATL edition of episode 76 of the Splashcast where we talk about the Falcons, Hawks / Dream, and the Braves. The first place division leading Falcons.
Much better.
So if you haven't had a chance, this is the end of the pregame. Y'all click on over to the episode because there's gonna be some fire and brimstone. See y'all soon.
No, it's gonna be a party. First place party, baby.